So everyone's least favorite Avenger and with worst powers. Although some would actually argue that his accuracy is actually, in fact, the power is back. And honestly, I wasn't going to watch this show, but just off the strength of Marvel's track record and what they've been able to do with all their properties, then I just decided to give it a watch. Was the show good? It's not mind-blowing. It's not something that you've never seen before. It's not anything that's going to make you a Marvel fan, but was it worth the watch? If you're a fan of the Marvel franchise and the MCU as a whole, then I say yeah, it is worth the watch. One would even argue that the only reason people even tune into these things anymore is just for the continuity and to see what the next big thing that they can do with the franchise, see what they can do with these characters, see how they can tie it all together and see what they can do moving forward. At this point, a lot of people are just looking for Easter eggs, just looking for clues and looking for the next big thing. We've actually been conditioned to look for the next big clue. Oh, what could be the next big mind-blowing reveal? Since Iron Man, Thor's hammer. They found Thor's I can't remember the agent's name, but he found Thor's hammer in the desert. Ever since then, they've been just conditioning us to just look for the next big thing. What's the next big thing? What's the next? How it's going to tie together? On some level, I think all Marvel fans have been guilty of just looking for that next big thing, and that kind of is actually a hindrance on this show. But the show does do a good job of introducing some new characters. You know, of course, they brought in Kate Bishop, and she does a fine job in her role. She does fine. You know, it's not the best. I've seen her in better things, but she does fine in this as Kate Bishop. I remember the first time seeing this actress. I think that the first time I saw her was in Ender's Game, and I like that movie. Ender's Game was good. Go check out Ender's Game if you haven't seen it. The action in this. The action is typical Marvel action. You gotta just kind of suspend your disbelief. You just kind of just roll with it. You know, it's nothing too crazy. It's cookie cutter action. The action is on pace with the other show. Actually, I'm gonna take that back. Falcon and Winter Soldier action was movie quality action. This action was on that. There's not much you can do with the Hawkeye character. You know, he's not Thor. He doesn't have these incredible powers. He's not Wanda. He's not Wanda or Vision. You know, he's not doing anything too crazy. But they focus more on his character. But by now you probably know that they're kind of starting to merge the Netflix characters in with the MCU characters, and they do reintroduce another character from those Netflix shows. Man, but I don't like what they did with this character here, man. It was kind of sad because I like this character in the Netflix shows. What they did with him here was just like, oh man, that's how you do him. Like, oh, I didn't like it. It felt like they put him in this show just so they can give him some kind of closure. That I don't know, if maybe his contract was up for the character. I don't know, but I didn't like how they did the character. They could have done that better. I am glad they focused on the Ronin persona in this show, because that's arguably the most interesting part about Hawkeye as a whole. Actually, I think they kind of dropped the ball on that as well. If they focus on that a little bit more, then I think the show would have had a lot more to offer. They want to make you care about his family. You know, he lost his family in the blip. If you don't know what the blip is, it's when Thanos snapped his finger in Infinity War, and half the universe was cut in half. Half of them just disappeared. Another character kind of they've been doing a good job of kind of illustrating blip occurrences. They did some in Spider-Man, and they actually brought another character in this show, Natasha Romanoff's sister. She makes an appearance here, and the way they showed her blip was kind of cool. She came into the show, and she was doing something that was related to what she did in the Black Widow movie, and she got blipped. And then she came back instantly, and it was like, oh man, it was like 5 years went by, and it's like, wow. Yo, Lalo is here from Better Call Saul. I liked seeing him in this show because I liked him in Better Call Saul, and his character in this is pretty cool. You think he's something in the show, but then it just turns out to not be that, and then it gets kind of weird in the end. But yeah, I like seeing him nonetheless. I think he's a pretty solid actor. Vera Farmiga's here. She's playing Vera Farmiga. She's here playing Kate Bishop's mom. It's always good to see her in anything. I like seeing her act. She's just a solid actress. You know, I remember seeing her in Bates Motel. She did a really good job in that show. So it's just always really good seeing her. Honestly, I could have done without seeing the show. I would have been perfectly fine without seeing it. It didn't really do anything to push Phase 4 forward as much as it did bring some closure to some of the characters, and it did add some to Hawkeye's character. He's not more likable than he was before. They did bring Kate Bishop into the fold, so I assume we'll be seeing more of her going forward. They did bring closure to the Ronin character, which is a shame because Ronin was the most interesting part about Hawkeye, I think. Oh, if you like Broadway plays, they give us a really cool little Broadway musical section in the post-credit scene. It felt like a real Broadway play. Marvel, they don't hold back, man, when it comes to their budget and when it comes to, you know, their spending. They'll put some money up on these projects. I mean, it was a full-blown authentic Broadway segment. It was fantastic though. There's some cringe-worthy moments in this thing. The LARPers, I mean, that was just cringe. That was one of the worst parts about the show, man. It was just so corny. Oh my, it was just people are into that kind of thing, and it's cool. I mean, like cosplay. I don't got nothing against cosplay. But the way that they did it in this show, it was like, come on, man. And it was corny, man. So that's just my take on the whole show. I mean, it was cool, but it was forgettable. I mean, it wasn't really anything special. Let me know if you watched Hawkeye though, man. Let me know what you thought about it. Let me know what other characters that you'd be interested in seeing them do a show or a solo movie on. Anyway, thank you for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.